Now today's video is all about water to paint ratio. So how much water do you use when you're mixing your paint up? When is it watery? When is it milky? When is it creamy? When is it, well, thick? So let me show you what I mean by this when I'm working with my watercolour paintings. Now I tend to look at the water to paint ratio. I'm going to be using this particular colour here, which is a raw umber by Winsor & Newton. So how do I get it, well, watery? And how watery is, well, watery? How much pigment do you put in there? So let's start off by putting a little bit of paint in my mixing palette here. This is a brand new tube. Oh, I like a new tube. So I'll pop that in there, look like that. That's loads. Now, I don't like wasting paint, so I'll probably save some of that and put it in my half pans at the end of it. I tend to do things like that. So let's make a start. Let's put some water down there a minute with my pipette. I've got my little sable brush here, and this is a size 2, by the way. Now I want this really thick at the moment, so this is literally straight from the tube. So I've got a little bit of water there, but not much, just so you can just move that paint. So this is really thick. Remember those 4 consistencies. Remember, it's going to be watery, milky, creamy and thick. So think about it that way. Now when you load your brush up with a thick paint, and it's really loaded up as you can see, far too loaded up, I know, a little bit too much. When you paint with that and you try and paint a line with it, look how that just breaks up. There's no flow at all to the paint. Yes, it's a good way of just popping on the paint and trying to cover up an area really well, but that's not the nature of watercolours, is it? Watercolours is made to be transparent. You know, so you can see the white of the paper showing through. Kind of gives that extra glow to the watercolour painting, doesn't it? So that's really thick paint, and you can see it's not really manageable, is it? So if I just wash my brush out in another water well I've got, then what we're going to do, add a little bit more water to it. Got some water down there. Let's just try a little bit of water out here first of all. A small amount. I'm going to put it there, look. That's when we go really watery. A little bit there. I'm just going to grab some of this paint now and make it more of a creamy consistency. Okay, put it over there. A bit more. I want it really creamy. And that now is going quite creamy. Remember, well, think about the cream that you have in your coffee. Something like that. Okay, so a bit more maybe, a little bit more. Quite a nice colour. This is a really good background colour as well. So if I try painting a line with this now, look how much easier that flows. See that? So that's with a creamy consistency brush. But yeah, I still need it to flow a little bit more. So I'm just going to try again with fully loaded brush. Yeah, when it's fully loaded, look at the difference that you get compared to really thick. Straight from the tube, of course. But, you know, it's still a little bit too thick. I do use creamy for a lot of my paintings. But that's usually for the last layer, you know, when I'm working on a wildlife painting. Yeah, so I'll very often start with a kind of watery mix first of all and work my way up through those scales I've just told you. So that's creamy. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's get a little bit more water. Okay. And we'll make it now more to a milky consistency. So there's still quite a bit of pigment in there, as you can see. Right, load that up. And we'll try that one next. Here we go. So we'll try a line there. Now look how much easier that flows, and look how much further that one loaded brush will go. Well, it's still going, it's still going. That's because it's more of a milky consistency. And this is also where you start to see the white of the paper showing through, you know, which gives you that glow to the watercolour painting. So imagine this in a multitude of colours, and how much kind of white shows through that paint there. Yeah, lovely, isn't it? The natural kind of way that a watercolour painting should be, really. In my eyes, anyway. Okay, so that's more of a milky consistency. Now, if we work with watery, let's grab some of that again. All right. Pop it in this. Oh, look at that. Look. I mean, that's really watery. And we go even thinner with that. So, literally, more water and very small amount of pigment in there. That is it. So, let's just try that one. Okay. Ready? Watery. Now I'm going to put some more pressure on this time around. Look how watery that is. But I can go even waterier than that. Is that a word, waterier? Let's get some more water. Grab plenty of water out of there, look. Look at that. Oh. And we'll try again. Again, even thinner. We can even add water to it on the paper as well. And this will just kind of give a hint of colour to the watercolour paper. I still want to think about, well, how watery does it want to be? You know, don't need to go even watery in that. Bit more water over there, look. Grab some of that pigment and try that. And you can see this is now near the white of the paper. And that's how I would use that one pigment, by working with different water to paint ratios as I go through the process. So basically we end up with just the simple white of the paper, just like that there. Now, okay, the next thing I want to try is the same thing, but by using my half pan paints. I know, just those there, look. Now this is the one in question, that's the raw umber. So this is really dry. I've not wetted the paints, which I very often do. I spray them normally with a water spray bottle, a misting spray bottle. And I want to get this initially to more a creamy consistency. However, you find because half pan paints are very often a highly concentrated pigment compared to the tube version, it's very difficult, I find, to get really, really thick paint from that. You can do it. But all you need is a small amount of water, a very small amount of water, just to activate that paint in there. Okay, so, okay, here we go. So this is really creamy, as you can see. I've just gone into that water there, mind you. Look how thick that is. Let's try again. Well, it's not creamy actually, it's thick. So this is actually really thick. Look at that, just the same way it broke up earlier on at the top there. So, how do we thin that down again? Where's my mixing palette go? So if I get a little more water, get some out of there, look. Something like that, okay? And we'll just thin that out a little bit more straight from the half pan. Put some in there. I want this now to more of a creamy consistency. And we'll see how well this flows. Now you can see that's a little bit thinner than my creamy version there. So let's just try thickening it up a little bit more. Try up there, look. That's better. But still a little bit paler, isn't it? So you can see I can't quite get it to the same consistency with the half pans. However, I am an artist that uses half pans most of the time for my detail work. Yeah, you see what I mean? Okay, so we've gone more or less to creamy. Let's grab some water. And we'll go now towards a milky consistency. Probably something like that. So now, load it, roll it, pull away. And we'll try that one next. Let's do a wiggly line this time, shall we? I'll put some more pressure on and come off that pressure and get thinner and thinner and thinner as I go down the paper. Okay, so taper that line out. And you can see that, just like before, we can keep going. I know. This brush is just never ending. It's like one of those special batteries you can buy. But that's what I mean by when you look at something like this, that's more of a milky consistency. So if we go for watery, so remember, just put some water to one side like that. By the way, it's always worth having 2 water pots. I've got one by my side as well, by the way. You can't see that one on camera. And then you'll be able to wash your brush out in the dirty water first and then go to the clean water. Don't go straight into the clean water like I'm doing there. That's bad practice. Okay, and that's really watery again, as you can see. A bit more watery again. And we'll try that one more time. As you can see, that's very watery indeed. So the other thing as well I wanted to show you with this is when you overlay the paint as well. So how do we do that? So let's get some water, let's get some pigment. I want to make this more to a milky consistency. Okay, remember this is just simply raw umber on its own. Okay, here we go. Overlay those lines. And we'll see how well, this is damp, don't forget, so it's going to blend into that damp paper a little bit. We'll see how well that overlays. And this also shows a true kind of nature of the transparency kind of properties of watercolour. So I go over this one again. Okay. You know, look how much darker that's gone just there, because that's the second layer. The second layer. And this is milky again. Remember like we did already done for that one there. This line was milky. So because of that, two milky lines, like that, look. The milky market, no, I know. Two milky lines, as you can see, goes really well. And it gives a deeper colour as you go through all of these areas here. And you find eventually, if you keep going over the same area again and again, allowing each layer to dry, you'll end up with something like that there. You wouldn't believe it, wouldn't you? Yeah, you do. You're seeing the colour of this when it's really thick, that one there in particular, when it's not paintable really, is it? But that's basically what you'll end up with numerous layers over the same area time and time again, allowing it to dry, as I said, in between each layer, or quick blast with a hairdryer, and you can go really deep with those colours as well. But that also applies if we go thicker, more of a creamy consistency, a bit more. Something like that, that's really creamy actually. I'm fully loading this brush up, I'm going to load it, I'm going to roll it, I'm going to pull away. I'm not going to tap it on some kitchen roll, which I normally do. This is now a creamy consistency. Look how much more that covers that line underneath. However, I can still see the outline of the milky consistency coming through. So this will give you some ideas how I tend to look at consistencies. So remember, you're looking at watery, milky, creamy, and also, of course, thick. I can't do that, I've got to keep that finger down, hang on. Okay, then 4 different consistencies. So I'll see you in my next video to the right.